Hello, and this is my first video back after a while. My name is Al Carmona, and wanted to kind of go over why I'm doing this, why it is that I'm making these videos. So first I want to show you my outline. I think that when you're making a video, and just like any presentation, you probably want to have an outline. That way you could kind of stay on top of what you're doing and have some key points and go through them throughout your video instead of kind of trying to make things up on the fly and improvise. So first thing is I wanted to have a little bit of a caveat. I haven't done this in a while and I don't have that much experience, but I kind of wanted to make this for people that are looking to get started, that especially marketers that have some experience and want to start creating videos and sharing what they know with the world. So a lot of this is going to be kind of raw. You're going to see me make a lot of mistakes, and hopefully we'll progress together from this point on. So first thing I wanted to do was create an outline. So in this outline you can kind of see, very simple, just on regular notebook, just some of the points that I want to touch on. So we'll get started on that. And the first point is going to be that the intro, who am I? Introduce myself a little bit. And my name is Al Carmona. At the time of this video, I'm 49, about to turn 50 this year, and I've been in marketing for a little bit over 20 years. I first started off during the first .com boom and bust, where I worked as a graphic designer and a web designer. So I made a lot of those early websites that you saw, kind of like Web 1.0, and a lot of Flash websites with interactive media. And obviously Flash and macro media are kind of extinct now. You don't really see it that much on the web, but that's kind of what I specialized in. And then I started to work in different companies and as a designer. And in these companies, it turns out there was no such thing as kind of like a digital marketing director back then. So they basically took the people that understood the internet the most, which were the graphic designers, the programmers, the PHP guys, the HTML guys, the ones that knew how to make websites and make small applications on the web back then. And basically back then, internet marketing was just starting out. So nobody really knew anything. SEO was kind of non-existent. There are just some things that people were trying out to see how they could build websites and drive traffic to the websites and use that to kind of gain traction online for businesses. So in doing that, I've kind of learned on the fly as I go, since the digital landscape is constantly changing, and it's changed so much in 20 years, and it's going to continue to change a lot. So that's one thing you kind of have to keep on top of. So that's kind of the first part of the outline, which is the intro. And then the second part is basically when you're doing any kind of marketing, which this is marketing, you have to think about your audience and who it is that you're talking to. So you might be watching this video and you might be a young person in your early 20s, or you might be a little bit older. But I think these videos are kind of geared towards showing my experience and how long I've been doing this, and trying to help other people more or less that are along my experience level, that have over a decade or decades of working on an online marketing, and want to keep up to date with what's going on, with what's happening, what the new technologies are, new ways of handling internet marketing and approaches, and what's working and what's not working, and trying things out. Because basically you learn about a new technology or a new form of marketing, digitally or otherwise, and you want to know if it's going to work for your company. Because basically a lot of people that are in my position, they're marketing directors, they're marketing managers, they're CMOs, and there are new things coming out all the time, and you don't know if you want to allocate budget for those things, whether it's worth it, whether it's okay to try it out, to test it out. And I'd say in most of those cases, go ahead and allocate a small budget to test new things out, because you want to stay up to date and you want to stay sharp, first of all, personally. And also you don't want to miss out if you're a company and miss the boat on that. You want to definitely stay with the curve of technology. So that's basically the second part of my outline, who I'm doing it for. And then the third part is I want to talk about just getting started and getting better as you go. And that's the hardest part, especially with putting yourself out there like this, like being on camera, is getting started, making that video, making those mistakes, and then taking a look at it. I know it's going to be cringeworthy when I take a look at this video, but I'm going to share with some people that are close to me. I'm going to get some advice. And the next video, I'm going to try and make it better. I'm going to try and improve it. I'm going to see where maybe I could have refined some things, where I could make my points more clearly, and how I can overall improve the experience for my audience, for you, the person that's watching this video, so you can get the most out of it. And then the fourth part of this outline for this video is, believe in building an audience. So I think the way the internet is going and online marketing in general is going is that every person is going to have to build an audience, whether you work for a company or whether you're for yourself, a solopreneur, whether you run a company. You've got to get yourself out there, and you've got to build a presence and an audience out there. And I saw an article today from LinkedIn that they're training over 80,000 employees to be LinkedIn influencers. And that means that basically they want everybody promoting their brand on social media. If you work for a company, you're probably going to be asked to post at some point something on social media that's tied to the company that you work for. And that way they're going to go ahead and leverage all their employees. So their employees are not going to be just people that are doing their job. They're also going to be content creators if they do this correctly. And I think that's a great point. I think that should be asked of people, because you're doing two things. You could take it from the point of view of, oh, that's just another thing that my company wants me to do. I have all this work. How am I supposed to create content and put myself out there? It works twofold, because first of all, your profile, you're going to take it everywhere with you. Your LinkedIn profile doesn't belong to that company. So even though you're producing content and talking about what you do, that's going to stay with you. And if you apply for another job in the future, they're going to see that you're a great content creator and you're a great brand ambassador for the company that you work for. And it's also going to get you more followers. So it's more of an opportunity for you to get the job that you want. But it's also helping the company that you work for. You are helping them leverage your followers. But I think everybody's going to want to go this way. So in order to do that, you've got to build your audience. So where do you build your audience? There are places like YouTube, where this video is probably going to be. There's Twitter, there's LinkedIn. And the idea is to create a piece of content and just kind of publish it in a bunch of different places. Cut it, paste it, create clips out of it, turn it into blog post, a way to repurpose the content that you create, but the things that you kind of want to get started, either whether it's just writing a tweet or creating a LinkedIn post or creating a video. Just find out what it is that you're good at, that you do day in and day out, that you could share with someone that's going to be helpful to them, that's going to help them do their job better or help them start a company in a better way. Whatever it is that you can do to help, and then start to build that audience. You'll get one person, then another person. Once you have your first follower, keep in touch. Your first 10, 20 followers are going to be the most important ones. You want to connect with them on a personal level with DMs and emails, and stay in touch with them, because that's your core following. You want to create that core and build out. And as I said, it's really important to create an audience. And personally, from my point of view, I'm kind of a shy person, not very outgoing, very introverted. But in a way, I kind of find it refreshing to express myself, as someone that doesn't talk a lot, to be able to say what I feel, to get some of the things that I have in my head out. And first, that's two good benefits there. The first benefit is going to be that kind of, you're shrinking what's in your head. You've got all these things in your mind and you're getting it out there. So leaving some room to kind of like have more space in your mind, if that makes any sense, to gather some new insights, but also getting out what you already know, kind of like a cleaning out of your head or shrinking. And then the other point is, as I said, in helping people and sharing what you know, sharing your knowledge. And hopefully people will appreciate that. And if they don't, that's okay. But as I said, you make a video, you look at it, you cringe, you're like, well, this is completely horrible. And I know I'm going to look at this video and think it's horrible, but you got to kind of get over that and make another one and another one and another one until you get a little bit better, some gradual progression, and you make better videos. So that's my first ramble here in this video back. I hope it was helpful. Please leave your comments and your questions. Kind of like a prologue to this video is I wanted to get into what I use for making the video and getting started. So the first thing that I did is I just created, I bought, webcam, a simple Logi webcam that's an HD 1080p. That's kind of like what I'm looking at right now. You could buy that anywhere on Amazon. If you want, I'll put a link to that. And then I also downloaded OBS, which is kind of like a video broadcasting, editing type of software. That's free. I'll put a link in there as well for OBS. That'll allow you to use that webcam to capture the video. And you could capture, like I'm doing now, which is just the full view of me talking. And then you could also kind of shrink the screen a little bit and have a screenshot of what's on your monitor as well. And you kind of flip back and forth between that. And you're going to see that in subsequent videos. And you'll see that a lot on the internet, people doing it. So that's just the two simple hardware and software that I'm using to create this video. And then you could always edit this using, some simple software, be it Final Cut Pro, or if you're on a Mac, you could use iMovie. There are a lot of free things that you could use to edit it. And then you could even edit it within YouTube, just upload it and then shrink it and edit it. So you don't necessarily have to go crazy into creating these, amazing intros and titles. Yeah, eventually do that. But I think the number one thing you want to do is just get yourself on camera, get comfortable speaking and talking, get your talking points down right, create that outline, and just start doing it. You could always create the intro and create the animations and the transitions of your video later on. But the hardest part is, especially if you're an introvert, is getting in front of the camera and speaking and talking about what you know. So again, I hope that was helpful. Please leave a comment below. And if you really like this video, everybody asks this, but it's important. And this is your call to action, which is please hit the subscribe button so that you'll see more of these videos as they come out. I would greatly appreciate it. And thanks.